bit of a tongue breaker in Croatian, but it actually means star. So he's the real star of this tour. Anything that you find interesting, feel free to stop me or just give me a wave and I'll be there. As I said, the mountains and the entire Croatian coast. Other former communist countries. Well, these buildings were built throughout that period of time.
1970s.
There's a reason they remind you. So small and very sweet. To build apartments and houses, and the scenery does change in this area because we go from the apartments and buildings to the private houses wildly. I'll continue with this story. I just want to draw your attention to the right hand. Ancient megastructure. That there is an aqueduct. The aqueduct in the past 10 to 15 years, so much that, of course, more and more people have moved to the suburbs. And 15 years ago, there were almost zero houses, no houses at all on the slopes of these mountains. And in this area that we're driving through now, almost nobody lived here. And you can tell that that has changed quite a lot, because for the amount of a two-bedroom apartment in town, or for the price of a two-bedroom apartment in town, you can buy a lot in the suburbs and build a 2 to 3 story house in the suburbs. Of course, a lot of people have chose to move to the suburbs. It's a wiser thing to do. And this is how people avoid buying expensive apartments down to sit, have lunch somewhere. They're probably going to offer you in every restaurant a local aperitif, which is the rakia or grappa, local grappa. And don't say no. It's 40% alcohol. It's a tradition. And you have to try it because everything tastes perfect after that. Smoke up, and then you have to take it out of the kitchen, and you have the northern winds that blow in the wintertime dry it, and then you do the whole smoking and drying process. It's a long process. Just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, for a smaller piece of ham, which is around 7 to 8 kilos, it takes up to 1 year of smoking and drying. So if you do go to any of our restaurants, the prosciutto, the Plavac Mali red wine, the local rakia, and some local cheese that comes from the island Pag, P-A-G. It's a sheep cheese that 2 years in a row won gold medal or first prize for being best European sheep cheese. We export that to several European countries. In this area, so we have had quite a long drought season, which is not unusual during the summertime. That's a small town with 80,000 people. Inside, of course, the national park. This waterfall is inside the national park, the Skradinski Buk. Now, you got these little booklets on the national park, and at the last page, if you open it, you'll see this map of the national. From the upper level to the lower level takes maybe 30 to 40 minutes of walking around the park. So those who want to go swimming will have enough time to go swimming as well. Those who want to stay, once we get to the lower level, you'll have the choice of staying there or walking back up to the upper part of the park. I mentioned that on the first level, where we start our walk, the charge and the cafe/restaurant takes euros. As I said, 30, 40 minutes of easy walking. This is what it looks like. So it's not difficult to do this walk, and it's not really long. We'll walk around the park.
I call the origin of rental of apartments. We will now continue straight. I have one. It is more appropriate and better for the animals, not for animal too.